Konnichiwa, y'all, and welcome to the 10 at 10 for September 24th of 2024. We got an open house here just around the corner. Be ready for that October 26th, y'all. You're going to enjoy that. It's going to be a great time. Make sure to come and see us.
From 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., a lot of cool plants. We'll have a lot of fun time. We're even having a Halloween costume contest. So get excited and be a part of the Maple Mafia crew that'll be there that day. We'll start off today with the 10 at 10, and we're going to start off with Acer PseudoSanum Green Star in XL 1 gallons.
Guys, this is a great one. I love Green Star. This is an introduction by Red Maple Nurseries, the classic place that brought you so many awesome trees. We have a whole breakdown on Red Maple Nurseries. They've come up with everything from Emperor One to Red Dragon. I mean, so many classics. I find Green Star to be one of my very favorite greens for a yellow fall color. I think it's one of the quintessentials. I think it's a perfect pairing with Osakazuki and Hogyoku. Makes a perfect trifecta there. I actually prefer it than some of the other ones Veritrees recommends for its solid, pure yellow.
Yeah, and it's really unique too when it first leaves out. It has that sort of hand cupping downward effect with pure green leaves that are just outstanding. Gives you that really nice summery feel. And for a nice green upright, it's hard to beat this one that goes to that really nice clear yellow color in the fall. For me, Green Star is just a hard upright green Japanese maple to beat.
Bold yellow, sun tolerant. Pair it with your Osakazuki, guys. You're going to love this one. I have one of these right beside my mother-in-law's house. It's a beautiful tree. People stop there in Black Mountain and say, I love your fall color on that because it is ginkgo yellow in the fall. One of my favorite yellow maples you can grow, and I think it's bulletproof. It's durable, it's cold tolerant, it's heat tolerant, leaves out a little bit later than some of the others. Perfect pairing also with something like Emperor One. So if you want a red in the garden to pair with a green that are going to have distinctly different fall colors, think about Green Star. It's an old classic. You don't see it offered as much anymore, but it's a great chance to pick this up with some XL 1 gallons. All right, y'all, next up, we are bringing back Winter Flame. This is Acer PseudoSanum Winter Flame. It is a beautiful coral bark that has some distinctive foliage to it as well.
Yeah, the leaves will actually curl and twist a little bit. It has a denser compact habit to a coral bark selection. And being that it's slower growing and has a denser habit, all that bark color will be down low.
So this is going to work zone 6 through 9. We don't rate the coral barks down to zone 5. You're going to love this one for that winter interest, though. This one can be a little green this time of the year on the bark, especially in greenhouses. Putting them outside, you get more distinctive red. This one can actually handle a good bit of sunlight as well, so sun's not really a problem for this one. You're going to love it for that winter interest, though. This one has a spark of color, very multi-stemmed, very distinctive curling foliage, too. It has this kind of serration curl to the leaf that makes it look a little bit more distinctive amongst most of the coral bark cultivars.
Yeah, take this tree, plant it out there, pair it with something like a Dixie Delight, and you can have similar leaves, but uniquely different bark colors out there in the landscape with that shorter, denser habit. To me, this is one of those quintessential dwarf coral bark selections that adds extra interest in that winter landscape. A lot of things are drab. These things, the bright red bark is just going to really stand out. Again, make sure you give this enough sunlight to really peak up those colors.
All right, Tim, what do we got next?
Next up, we've got Acer PseudoSanum Sojo. To me, this is one of the flashiest bright red spring colors in the early spring. The spring color is almost like the fall color. Again, in the fall, it goes to that bright red in the fall. During the summer, you get some green colors with some of that red new growth. To me, it's one of the flashiest of those red Japanese maples.
Yeah, this one really comes out with some incredible displays of hot pink to red in the early spring. Very popular for bonsai. Shin means improved. We often offer to Sojo here. Shin meaning improved to Sojo. One of the things about it is a little faster growth rate. So typically over a foot to a foot and a half of growth on this one a year. Putting it at well over 10 to 12 foot in a 15-year period. Beautiful tree. Slows down a little bit in that kind of stage range. Awesome for cuttings. Awesome for bonsai. I've seen people use this one in cut flower arrangements because of that spring display being so distinctive. It is a showstopper as a landscape plant as well. These are grafted. I encourage you to plant it in the ground and create your bonsai material from it. Absolutely phenomenal plant though. Shin to Sojo, the improved to Sojo, always a showstopper in the spring and one that sells out pretty quickly here on MrMaple.
And one of the things that's unique about Shin to Sojo is that brighter picked up red. I mean, there's plenty of trees like Bloodgood that give you that deeper maroon. This one will give you that brighter picked up red that gives you good color contrast in the garden. It's one that does sell out quickly though, so make sure you check out quickly today on MrMaple.com.
Yeah, I like it a lot late summer because that pink new growth even contrasts really well with the kind of the emerald green shades you'll see in it. It's one that's going to work zones 5 through 9 and exceptionally heat tolerant. Grab you a Shin to Sojo today. All right, Go Series collectors, what do we have up next?
Guys, it's getting to be close to be October. We've got one of those ghost tops. We're bringing you Sister Ghost.
Classic Talon Buckholz introduction. Sister Ghost, one of the most wide of the Ghost series. This one tends to be very multi-stemmed. That long serrated leaf gives it a very interesting approach. Typically golden yellows to oranges in the fall. Just a beautiful overall tree and a quintessential member of the Ghost series.
And I love the semi-pendulous habit where it goes up and then sort of arches downward, continuing to go up, giving that sort of shrub-like effect. But it does that in such a unique way with those reticulated veins where you look in and you see the etching in each and every leaf, and the serrations on the edge of the leaf just add to the intricacies of the leaf morphology, and it's just super attractive and beautiful.
Grab you a sister ghost today. All right, guys, we brought it back. It's the Red Panda.
Yeah, Red Panda is one of our selections here at Mr. Maple. It is one of our first patented selections, and it is the Japanese maple that has that Makawa layering habit that holds the red color the longest of any of the selections.
Beautiful sizes in this right now. You're going to love them. It's a phenomenal plant. You've heard us talk about Red Panda. It's very hyped. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and tell you there are 60 plus of them dropping a day. That's going to make some people surprised. They're going to sell out quickly. You're still going to see these gone very quickly. We're bringing you bigger and bigger sets. Our production has went up on Red Panda. We're bringing it back multiple times here this year. Tons of people have got it at open house. This is your chance online. Don't wait today at 10 a.m. They will sell out. They're not going to last all day. I guarantee you that. It's highly sought after for good reason. This is the best red of the Makawa Yetsubusa forms. I love its color. I love its name. I think it's just got a lot going on for it. It's kind of an homage. I name a lot of trees for kind of things that I have that you may not understand, like Hot Blonde's named after my wife, or Pink Princess is named after my daughter. Well, we were going around the nature center, and Red Panda was spending time with my kids. We were checking out red pandas there, and it kind of symbolizes that to me. It's just like family time. That's actually where it gets the name from. But the color kind of lines up with those funky, cute little red pandas. One of the coolest animals you'll ever see. Shane Gillis has a whole thing where he's on Joe Rogan. He's like, "You've seen these red pandas? There's nothing cuter than a red panda." Favorite animal. Grab you a Red Panda Japanese maple today.
Yeah, to me, this is one of those trees that I just fell in love with the more and more I saw the original seedling, and I just saw its red color holding longer throughout the season. You know, we've went through thousands and thousands of red Japanese maples that are Makawa-like in their habit, and this one by far is the best one. Now, we joke and often say the hype, it can never live up to the hype because the Red Panda hype is just off the train, but this here, it's an amazing tree to definitely grow in your garden.
Yeah, there's nothing that can live up to the level of hype that Red Panda's starting to get. And we're responsible for some of it, but not all of it. We showed the thing in a few videos, and then the memes, the things started coming. You know, this is a great plant. You're going to love it. It does live up to what it should be, which is an amazing red form Makawa Yetsubusa. The Makawa variants, they're kind of the most popular thing going right now. To me, I think this is the best one. I think it's a great plant. I think you're going to love it. I think it has a place in your garden along classics like Mystic Makawa, Mayday, and Japanese Princess. I think Red Panda stands out with those. It's one that's going to sell out quick, but grab you one. You're going to thank yourself in the spring. I see putting it in a little bit of sun in the early spring, and the ground seems to be its best color. It held its red the longest. Again, conditions can change in different places. I'm always wanting to do some pH testing and see if the pH affects the Makawa colors. But for us, this has been the most superior red Makawa. You can even see on that new growth, getting those little Red Panda hints of red right now in September, guys. I can't say anymore. You guys know what's up. Grab your Red Panda today. All right, Tim, what do we got next?
Guys, next up, we've got one of the very first, more upright red lace leaves. It's very fast and vigorous growing. We're talking about Acer palmatum English lace. This was a selection by Jerry Childs, and we got this early on and were able to evaluate it. And we learned if you put this tree on a stake at an early age, pointed upwards, it keeps going upwards, and then it arches out and sort of cascades as it ages.
Yeah, Jerry actually included us in the selection process of this. There were a few different selections. This one tended to win out as the English lace. It's a great plant for a fast-growing red, semi-upright tree. You are going to want to stake it to get that shape enhanced when it's young. It's one of the fastest-growing trees, though. It's going to get out there nice. Even if you don't stake it much, you're going to get more of a Germain's gyration form because it's going to be the biggest tree. But it wants to be open and airy. So I encourage you to stake it up a little bit and have this nice structure you can view into. We have a full breakdown of this. A beautiful specimen in a garden. You can go check it out in great fall color. You can really see what English lace can be at its full potential there in the landscape.
Yeah, and it has some really nice fall colors of bright reds as well. For a red lace leaf that's vigorous and gets out there and makes a specimen very quickly, English lace is the one for you.
Great plant, typically over 1.5 feet of growth a year, at least a foot most seasons. Slows down around that 8 to 10 foot kind of range. You're going to love an English lace in your garden. It's elegant, it's beautiful. You want some room for this one because it does want to get out there. It is going to be a bigger tree than something like garnet. You want to give it a little bit more space to fill out, but it's got an awesome approach to it. I think you're going to absolutely love what this one looks like in the landscape. All right, y'all, next up, we're bringing back one of my favorite variegated plants, EnanIski. We've had this one on a lot of tenant tens, but you guys keep snatching them up, so we keep bringing it back. We keep bringing in more from our Buckholtz farm on this one, guys. It is a popular tree that we can't seem to keep in stock here on Mr. Maple.
Yeah, this is a Disanthus cercidifolius. The leaves look almost like a redbud. This is a Japanese redbud hazel. And this thing will actually bloom with purple blooms in the early spring to late winter. And then when the leaves come out, you get this amazing variegation. Blue-green color on the interior, white creamy on the outside. This is a delight in the garden and just has this really nice semi-pendulous shrub-like habit for the garden.
Yeah, think of this one much more shrub-like than our American redbuds. I think that makes it a perfect plant to pair. You've heard me talk about putting this one there, flamethrower. We're doing Hearts of Fire right now, guys. Put this out with some of those flashy American redbuds. I think it's going to look really cool. That variegation will play off of it, but more so the height. This one's typically 5x5, that more shrub-like, dense habit to it. Fills out nicely. You're going to get some play in the bloom differences there as well. Couldn't complement a redbud more than something like EnanIski.
Y'all, next up we've got a selection named by Talon Buckholtz, Acer PseudoSanum baby buttons.
Now this is a witch's broom found on an Acer PseudoSanum. Interestingly enough, Cercinatums are one of the only things in section Palmata I can think of with brooms on them outside of Palmatums. Great plant, really interesting, dense compact habit to it, fresh green look to it. Really an overall great appearance to this plant. I think it makes a good container plant, also in the ground. They are grafted on Palmatum, dense and full and shrub-like as this one grows. It wants to be kind of very multi-stemmed and dense, which gives it almost an exaggerated vine maple feel. So vine maples typically want to be very multi-stemmed, and this one feels like a little bit more exaggerated of that natural habit.
Yeah, and most of the Acer PseudoSanum selections that are in the nursery trade are likely hybrids with a Japanese maple of some sort, while the witch's brooms, like baby buttons, are really just a mutation that has happened on a native Cercinatum in the Pacific Northwest. So you get a little bit more of that natural feel, but in a denser, compact habit. Easy to use in the landscape. Make sure in some hotter climates to give it some protection from the hot afternoon sun, because Acer Cercinatum really thrives best in those conditions.
Yeah, great plant, some crazy fall colors. I've had this one be red, yellow, and orange all at the same time, all on the same leaf sometimes, so some really cool contrast. It's a fun North American native. If you want to add one to your garden, it's a great chance to do it today. All right, Zone 4 people, we hear you. What do we got for those Zone 4s today, Tim?
Guys, we're bringing you the species of Acer PseudoSanum. This one is a multi-branched, really great specimen in a 7-gallon. Pseudosanums are some of my favorite species because they have some of the most dramatic fall colors. You often get yellows, oranges, and reds all throughout the leaves in the fall. The drama in the fall is unreal with the Pseudosanums.
These are ungrafted, straight species, multi-stem. They're going to be really popular. If you want to do like a big bonsai or something with a larger leaf, this would be really cool. They're from seed, guys. They're going to work zones 4 through 9, so they're not just for those Zone 4 people. Incredible fall color on these, though. There will be a little variation in leaf shape and color. Absolutely outstanding when they hit that bold reds to oranges in the fall, though. I think you're going to love this one. Again, a lot of you Zone 4 people are going to snatch these up. We will be offering these in larger sizes all the way up to 10 gallons. This is just our 7.
And if you like these, we also have Hazelcus on our website, which is a Pseudosanum hybrid with a Japanese maple that is also a Zone 4. Check that out as well. You know, these Pseudosanums, they're beautiful in anybody's garden, but they push down and they're extremely cold tolerant to that Zone 4. It means negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit, which is insane and allows people to garden with these beautiful Japanese maples in zones where they never thought they could.
Now, one of the cool things about these, they're not very tall, but they're very multi-stem, so you got a lot of intricate branches. That's why I brought up bonsai with these. I think a lot of people are going to grab these for shape. They're very intricate, very interesting, and a place for future Pseudosanum selections. So grab some Pseudosanum seedlings off this. Let us know what you find. The possibilities with Pseudosanum are kind of limitless right now. All right, guys, next up we've got something I think is one of the most next-level plants I've ever seen. I'm really excited to be offering this again on Mr. Maple. Tim, what do we got?
We got Styrus japonicus Nightfall, which is a weeping selection of a Japanese snowbell that has dark leaves. It's sort of groundbreaking in the world of Japanese snowbells. They recently had a dark leaf selection, and then they also have a weeping selection. Those two were bred, and out came Nightfall. It's a game changer because it gives you that dark leaves that everyone loves in the landscape, that give that contrast. but you also get those beautiful white blooms that are so popular with the Japanese snowbells.
Now, we had these before on Mr. Maple in much smaller numbers. People were disappointed when they sold out so quickly. Guys, we've beefed up the numbers. We're back with Nightfall. This thing is so choice. It's so next level. It's one of the darkest plants in the landscape. It's weeping, it's pendulous, it's flowering, it's glossy, it's funky. You know, I could think of putting one of these out beside my Storardia pseudocamellia pewter to have some different bloom interest, but also that dark foliage playing with that silvery colored of pewter. It just works in every single landscape. I love what this one does. They're going to work zones 5 through 9, and that pendulous habit really makes this one super interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it is heavily cascading. As you can see here, these are staked up to allow you to really have that nice height to it. If you do want this to grow taller, stake it up to a taller height and it'll just cascade and then be very pendulous and just have that nice waving appearance in the wind. Such a beautiful tree, especially in the early springtime when you have those white blooms that contrast so well with the dark leaves.
All right, guys, don't forget we've got our upcoming open house. That's going to be October 26th. That's going to be that Saturday. It's going to be from 8 to 4. Come see us. It's going to be a blast. A lot of cool plants.
Take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.